Hey there, I'm Kevin Downey, and I run an agency called Kevin M. Downey, where we help B2B companies with their sales and marketing efforts. You can visit our website at kevinmdowney.com. Okay, today's video, how do you build advanced prospect lists in Apollo.io or your system of choice? So one of the things that we run into and we've built, over the last decade, I've probably built about 1,000 lists for clients, starting with, List Giant and Sales Genie and very, SIC code or NICS code oriented lists. And getting just company information for reps to do outreach by phone, and they would gather decision maker info through the call and all that stuff, right? To modern era, we need people-centric data, right? We need the people with the right titles at the companies and their email addresses and LinkedIn profiles and their direct phone extensions if we can get them, or things like that, right? So we need a lot more advanced people data in order for our reps to be successful with cold outreach. So one of the things I was going to show you in this video is when we build prospect lists for clients, there's a group of businesses that are harder to build lists for. So when we talk about advanced lists, when we do people-centric data, because SIC codes are really not fully built into these platforms, and I'm going to use Apollo.io as an example, which is a phenomenal product. When you dig in, we're generally having to build prospect lists with a combination of what we call industries and keywords. So we've got a series of industries, for example, like this client here. We've got a number of industries we're going after, but we're combining that with keyword inclusion to ensure that they have certain things within that company, because we aren't, in this case, using SIC code. And in a lot of cases, we can do it very effectively, right? Having, again, in modern business data, probably have built 500, 600, 700 lists over the last 6, 7 years, right? And most of the time, it's pretty easy to do. It's a combination of industries and keywords, and then, of course, the right titles in the company, and, of course, geography and maybe annual revenue or number of employees. All of those things are relatively simple to do. But sometimes, especially in the industrial and manufacturing spaces, it becomes very challenging to be able to identify whether that company, using basically industries and keywords, it becomes very difficult to identify the right kind of target, right? Whether they are a target or not. So I want to teach you a little tip here on what you can do if you run into this challenge. So one of the things you will notice is that now you can find, again, using the old data methodology, we would use SIC codes. Now, in the case of Apollo, all the SIC codes are not in there, right? So there are some limitations, but it is in there. So you can use SIC codes to really hone in on and identify the companies that are your target audience. But what if there's a number of SIC codes that you want to target, and the SIC code list, for example, is right here. What if there are a bunch of SIC codes that you want to target that you really want to identify as that niche that aren't in there? What do you do? So the secret to this is you go and you build your company list through the old company-centric data methodologies, whether you're using Sales Genie, Info USA, Database USA, List Giant is one of our favorites. And you go in and you can build the base list that incorporates or includes the URL of the companies. So in other words, you go by SIC code. Let's say we're going after, 1381. I'm just using that as an example. And you're going to pull all companies from 1381. And all you're concerned about when you pull this list is the URL of the company, right? The website. So you're going to then pull all of the websites that they have by SIC code for the SIC codes you want to target. So you pull all those URLs, and then you go into, say, Apollo in this case, and you're going to use the company targeting. And if you go under company targeting, what you can do is you can exclude lists of companies. And URL is actually the most accurate way to do this, rather than trying to do it by company name. So you would put in, again, whatever, Cisco.com or Salesforce.com or Dell.com. They have the examples up there. Whatever the websites are, you're going to take that entire list from your SIC code-based list, and you're going to have a CSV file with URLs. And you might have to take the front end of the URL off if there's a www on there or something like that, but probably not. And you're going to take that entire URL list and you're going to copy and paste it into this include list of companies. And then you're going to save it, right? And then you are going to have only those companies from those websites in your list. And now you can hone in on and target the exact companies you want to target. You can adjust revenue, you can adjust titles, you can adjust employee count, whatever else, geography, whatever else you want to hone in on, but you're going to use that company list instead of industries and keywords. Hopefully that makes sense, but that is the way we have found the most effective way to build really targeted lists for clients. In, again, industrial manufacturing in particular, we run into the challenge consistently where we just can't hone in on quite the right audience for the client with, again, whether it's email or we're talking about rep outreach or a combination of both. Very hard to build that targeted list by just using industries and keywords. It's really an SIC code thing, which is a lot more descriptive of specifically who you want to go after as a business. And then you go in again to a list giant or whatever, and you build your company list by SIC code. You make sure that it includes the URLs, and then you take your URLs and use those within the company section. And now you've got just those companies to go after. And now you can go and address all the people stuff and all that kind of thing and do whatever other selections you want. Okay. Hopefully that helps you. If you need any help with lead generation, business development, obviously sales, recruiting, and training, reach out to us, kevinmdowney.com. Thanks so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.